Hello everyone, welcome back to the Cat Fizzle Show. If you're wondering why I'm doing a review on this specific day, today we will be reviewing the first 4 episodes of The Wild House. We will do this traditionally with 4 episodes, specifically with one dedicated segment to a specific special, just in case during specific holidays. This will happen every 5 days, every 5 episodes, more like it. Today we'll be reviewing Left in the Dark, Get the Message, Heavy Meddle, and making the case. These are the 4 episodes, of course, and today I will be reviewing them. Yes. I will be ranking each episode based on a numerical rating from 1 to 10, as well as giving them a specific rating, whether it be the Golden Tesla, the average, and the blacklisted. Since a lot of people are not renowned with those ratings, specific ratings, you can probably tell what they are. Golden Teslas are episodes that I find funny, charming, unique, or do something very nice, very good episodes. Average is just kind of in the name. They're the middle ground episodes, the episodes that you just kind of meh to, the episodes I'm kind of indifferent to, or the episodes that have a lot of good stuff but a lot of bad stuff in them as well. And the blacklisted episodes are the bad episodes, the ones that aren't funny, the ones that are irritating to watch, boring to watch, or just make me not want to live anymore. And there are a lot of them in this show, so yay.
Episode 1A, Left in the Dark.
Episode 1A, Left in the Dark. Lincoln hears the season finale of his favorite show come on, but must distract his sisters from the TV, which in turn causes a power outage. Now, the first thing I gotta say is this episode is a pilot, so I will go a little bit softer than I normally would with most episodes on this list. And I will definitely say that this episode does have some good comedy to it. One of my favorite parts of this episode was just the gags that Lincoln gets from stopping his sister from watching the TV, such as giving Luna a special light to give away, telling Luann like a pun or something. It's been a while since I've seen the episode. And as well as a lot of things, including a couple of the lines with Lucy, where she just pops out of absolutely nowhere, which causes a pretty good gag. Lenny glowing in the dark, as well as a couple of other things. I like the whole downstairs in the basement gags. The ones that get out of the darkness are very fine, very fun, very nice. Overall, a pretty nice pilot, you know? I really do appreciate the fact that they do give every single character as much screen time as they really could. Everyone really feels like they get their fair share of screen time, yet if there were any issues I have with the episode, it's that this episode is not very memorable. Like, there's nothing really stand out about this episode. It's kind of just really just a nice episode to watch. And I do feel like that this could have been done better as a pilot in terms of actual piloting, including more character development, what the show's about. But for what it is, it's a relatively nice episode to watch. Not the best in the series. I've seen far better, and far better has got to come along this list. But if you're looking for some good content, I would recommend this one. Golden Tesla, 7 out of 10.
Episode 1B, Get the Message.
Episode 1B, Get the Message. When Lori steps on Lincoln's game console, he sends her a nasty hate mail. Oh, and is it a nasty one indeed. There's a lot of profanity and a lot of censored stuff, and a really good gag from Luna specifically. I really do enjoy the gag where everyone just spews random nonsense, kind of curse words, and Luna comes out and jams on their guitar. It's a very nice visual and a bit of a vocal kind of gag. I also like Clyde's reaction to the curse words, as if like he hasn't really heard anything before. It just shows how Clyde is just kind of too precious for all of this. Also, it kind of starts a trend that, yeah, the loud kids are kind of vulgar, which we will explore in a future episode that I will get to a long time down the line. I cannot wait to touch that one. Anyway, what else does this episode have? Well, not much, but I can easily get on to it, yeah. While there are some relatively decent gags, sort of like how Lincoln and Clyde kind of point out the thing, and then they attempt doing it, and then they kind of just fall apart. It's like they show like a dream sequence that happens, but it's actually not what happens, and then they actually do the thing that happens, and a lot of stupid gags happen. I also like the hall monitor bit with the Lola and Lana bit. I feel like it added a bit of an obstacle. I'm glad they set that up beforehand without having to throw it into the plot. But what does this episode have wrong with it? Well, This episode, much like the predecessor, doesn't have much going on with it either. It's kind of a very forgettable episode. I mean, I kind of expect that from early season 1, but this episode also has a bit of a negative to it, and that's just Lori in general. I feel like she's kind of very flanderized in this bits, and she's kind of just a bit of an asshole in this specific episode. But otherwise, I would still consider this to be a pretty good episode. Not as good as the last one. It has a bit of a flaw, and it's not as memorable, and I can't understand why a lot of people wouldn't like this one. But as for me, there was enough comedy and enough story plot to go along to give this one a golden Tesla. Pretty light one at that, 7 still. But that's how I feel about this one specifically. Not much to say here, really.
Episode 2B, Heavy Meddle.
Episode 2A, Heavy Meddle. After a bully puts gum in his hair, Lincoln must hide it from his sisters to avoid them from interfering. A fun fact about this one in particular, Ronnie Ann makes a off-screen appearance as the bully of the episode. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this one, it's 2 years old, so that's on your fault. I mean, you're watching this episode after all, so anywho. Let's start with the negatives. The moral of if a girl does not like you, if a girl picks on you, she likes you. I hate this trope. I really kind of just hate this trope. I see it a lot in kids media, and it's just so stupid and just so overplayed at times. I don't get why they still do it. They just kind of do it. They just kind of do it. I just wish we'd just move on past this one. In terms of plot cohesion, this one's kind of a bit of a mess at times. So Lincoln gets bullied as a montage, and then immediately after he gets bullied, he just goes and talks with Clyde and talks about like a sister NATO warning, and then like after that, he just kind of goes inside and does some stuff, I guess. It's just a really weirdly structured episode, but. And here's the big but. This episode has a lot of really good comedy, and you're gonna learn that's gonna bring an episode all the way up whenever it comes to me. I really like the gags with Lenny in the trash can. I really like the gags with Luna chilling and Lincoln chilling in there and getting the pudding. And I really like the idea of Ronnie Ann being introduced as a bit of a protagonist, and while their sister's advice did not pay out at the same time, it did lead to Ronniekin, which is a relatively good ship in my opinion, and I'm happy that they were able to add to the show. Overall, despite this one's pretty noticeable flaws, this one actually got some decent comedy to it, and I really do enjoy it. It's probably the funniest out of the 3 I've reviewed so far, and I'm so happy that I'm actually able to give this one a golden Tesla. It's a 7 out of 10 too, since there are some flaws. It might sound like I'm holding back on some of these, and some of these should get an average or lackluster to you, but you gotta keep in mind this is early season. You gotta have to pull something pretty bad to get anything lower than the golden Tesla for the first couple episodes. I'm kind of holding back on these ones particularly because that's just what they are for me. Pretty average episode otherwise, but since they're at the beginning of the season, I can give them a little bit of leeway.
Episode 2B, Making the Case.
And speaking of pretty bad, we have episode 2B, Making the Case. Lincoln wants to win a video contest for his trophy case. Okay, yeah, this episode. I don't hate this episode, really. I don't really dislike it either, or I kind of do dislike it. But I can understand why a lot of people would, and I'm going to give my reasons. This episode is just so... Lincoln's just a jerk in this one. He records his sisters doing embarrassing stuff, and it's not funny at all, and all of the gags are just kind of stupid. And then he uploads them to YouTube, where they're watched by everyone. Then all the sisters call him out on it. Then he uploads a video of him doing embarrassing stuff, and then no one watches it, and everyone makes fun of Lincoln still, and he gets a trophy case anyway, despite the fact that what he did in the first place was just not really up to code. The stakes were pretty low, and Lori did fart 3 times. Wow, yay, fart jokes, hooray. But there are some decent gags. I really did like the final product of Lincoln's mind-old creation, specifically the video he made last year. You know, it did show that he had some humility, and he did have the ability to create a video that would possibly ruin his reputation to compensate. And while it is stupid, the intention is nice, and there are some decent gags here. Like, I like the one with the stopwatch, where like Lisa like Lynn says, "I'll give you 3 seconds to explain yourself, Lincoln," after he uploads the video, and then Lisa pulls out a stopwatch specifically to test out for the 3 seconds. So there's some stuff here, and it's not the worst plot, and the bad stuff is pretty moderate. So yeah, despite this one being kind of a mess of just not really funny comedy as well as an incoherent plot, it's not awful by any stretch of the word or bad. So I feel the perfect rating would have to be average on this one. It would definitely get blacklisted if there were plenty of other things wrong, and it was close to getting the blacklisted, and I can understand why people would hate this one, as there are plenty of hateable stuff in here, but overall, this episode isn't the devil, as a lot of people put it out to be. I have to give this one probably a 5 out of 10, if you know what I mean. Overall, relatively decent drop. 7 episodes, 3 out of 4 episodes are pretty 7 out of 10s, which is Golden Tesla, of course. And one of them being average, so the drop was pretty good, I must say, especially for a first 4 episodes. Now, it might seem like, oh, you said there were a bunch of bad episodes, right? They're coming. They will come. And they won't come next one, but they will come the next one, and the next one. You'll see them come up a lot as time goes on. Overall, I would say I'd recommend the first 3 episodes, and making the case, I'd say you watch it if you want, but I say you wouldn't. So that's all I have for today's episode. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, push the like button. If you want more of this kind of content, push subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Captain Tesla, out.